Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
So, with the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. So, before moving on to today's commemorations, we have few commemorations that were occurring on 11th and 12th December. So, we will commemorate those and move to today's sessions. So December 11th is commemorated as International Mountain Day with the theme Mountain Solutions for Sustainable Future, Innovation and Adaptation and Youth. Over centuries, mountain communities have developed solutions to adapt to their harsh environments, deal with climate change, reduce poverty, and protect or restore biodiversity. This International Mountain Day 2024, IMD 2024, focus precisely on the capacity and need of its people through a triple approach. Mountain solutions for a sustainable future, innovation, adaptation, and youth. Innovation is essential for addressing complex mountain-related issues. It encompasses technological advancements as well as creative problem solving, such as climate-smart agriculture. While dealing with climate change's pressures on mountains, adaptation becomes imperative for building resilience and reducing vulnerability. Adaptation strategies include solutions such as ecosystem-based approaches to disaster reduction and the integration of indigenous knowledge systems. Lastly, the active participation of youth is essential for ensuring long-term sustainability of mountain solutions. IMD 2024 promotes decent work and quality employment for young persons, accessible training, and entrepreneurship opportunities that contribute to the sustainable use of mountain resources. Of the 20 plant species that supply 80% of the world's food, 6 originated and have been diversified in mountains like maize, potatoes, barley, sorghum, tomatoes, and apples. Mountain ecosystems are under threat from pollution. Microplastics have been found as high as the summit of Mount Everest. Up to 84% of endemic mountain species are at risk of extinction, according to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. So, why we need an International Mountain Day? Mountains are natural jewels we should treasure. They are home to 15% of the world's population and host about half of the world's biodiversity hotspots. They provide fresh water for everyday life to half of the humanity, helping to sustain agriculture and supply clean energy and medicines. Unfortunately, mountains are under threat from climate change, overexploitation, and contamination, increase the risk for the people and the planet. As the global climate continues to warm, mountain glaciers melt, affecting freshwater supplies downstream, and mountain people, some of the world's poorest, face even greater struggles to survive. Steep slopes mean the clearing of forests for farming. Settlements or infrastructure can cause soil erosion as well as the loss of habitat. Erosion and pollution harm the quality of water flowing down and the productivity of soil. In fact, over 311 million mountain people in developing countries live in areas exposed to progressive land degradation. 178 million of whom are considered vulnerable to food insecurity. This problem affects us all. We must reduce our carbon footprint, take care of these natural treasures. International Mountain Day, celebrated since 2003 through FAO, creates awareness about the importance of mountains to life, highlights the opportunities and constraints in mountain development, and builds alliances that will bring positive changes to mountains, people, and environments around the world. So, we can also have a virtual journey to the Capthian Mountains, the Hindu Kush Himalaya region, the Tian Shan Mountains, and the Virunga Mountains. You will be amazed by everything you will learn. So we can go hike virtually, those who cannot afford, since the UN Decade of Ecosystem Restoration 2021 to 30, which is a 10-year effort to stop revert deterioration of nature. This plan is opportunity to draw together political support, scientific research, and financial resources to significantly scale up restoration and prevent further degradation of mountain ecosystems. December 12th is also commemorated as International Day of Neutrality. Neutrality, defined as a legal status arising from the absentage of a state from all participation in a war between other states. The maintenance of an attitude of impartiality towards the belligerents and the recognition by the belligerents of the absenteeism and impartiality is critically important for the United Nations to gain and maintain the confidence and cooperation of all in order to operate independently and effectively, especially in situations that are politically charged. As Article 2 of UN Charter obligates member states to settle their international disputes by peaceful means and to refrain from the threat or use of force in their relations. Recognizing that such national policies of neutrality are aimed at promoting the use of preventive diplomacy, which is core function of the United Nations and occupies a central place among the functions of the Secretary General. and the General Assembly decided to declare 12 December the International Day of Neutrality and called for making the day by holding events aimed at enhancing public awareness of the value of the neutrality in international relations. In the face of political tension and escalating crisis, it is of great importance to uphold the principles of sovereignty and the sovereign equality of states, territorial integrity, self-determination, and non-intervention in the internal affairs of any state, and to defend, promote, and encourage the settlement of international disputes by peaceful means in such a manner that international peace and security in relevant regions and at the global level and plays an important role in developing peaceful, friendly, and mutually beneficial relations between the countries of the world. It is worth noting that the policy of neutrality, a key factor for providing conditions and building a platform for peaceful negotiations, is also closely interconnected. It's based on the tools of preventive diplomacy, such as early warning and prevention of conflict, mediation, good offices, fact finding missions, negotiation, such as use of special envoys, information, consultations, peace building, and targeted development activities. Preventive diplomacy is a core function of the United Nations and is central on the role of United Nations Secretary General, including the special political missions of the United Nations and the good offices of the Secretary General in peacekeeping, peacemaking, and peace building. Consequently, and in accordance with the guiding principles of the strengthening of the coordination of emergency humanitarian assistance of the United Nations systems, countries with the status of neutrality play an important role in providing and delivering humanitarian assistance in situations of complex emergencies and natural disasters. On 2nd February 2017, the UN General Assembly adopted without a vote resolution 71 by 275 introduced by Turkmenistan, recognized by the UN as a permanently neutral state since 12 December 1995, which noted the link between the preservation of peace and 2030 agenda of sustainable development and declared 12 December as the International Day of Neutrality. The aforementioned GA resolution also proposes that UN Secretary General continue to cooperate closely with the neutral states with the view of implementing the principles of preventive diplomacy and utilizing them in the mediation activities. The United Nations is committed to moving from a culture of reaction to one of the prevention. The term preventive diplomacy refers to diplomatic action taken to prevent disputes from escalating into conflicts and to limit the spread of conflicts when they occur. While it is conducted in different forms and fora, both public and private, the most common expression of preventive diplomacy is found in the work of envoys dispatched to crisis areas to encourage dialogue, compromise, and the peaceful resolution of tensions. Mediation. Since the inception, the United Nations has played a critical role in helping mediate into and intrastate conflicts at all stages. Before they escalate into armed conflict, after the outbreak of violence, and during implementation of peace agreements. Successful complaint mediation requires an adequate support system to provide envoys with the proper staff assistance and advice, and also to ensure that talks have the needed logistical and financial resources. Peacemaking. UN peacemaking flourished in the decade following the end of Cold War, as many long-standing armed conflicts were brought to an end through political negotiated settlements. The organization continues to play a preeminent role in peacekeeping, working increasingly in partnership with regional organizations in order to bring ongoing conflicts to an end and to prevent new crises from emerging or escalating. So December 12th is also commemorated as International Universal Health Coverage with the theme Health, It's on the Government. On 12th December 2012, the United Nations General Assembly endorsed a resolution urging countries to accelerate progress towards universal health coverage, in short known as UHC. The idea that everyone everywhere should have access to quality, affordable health care. On 12 December 2017, the United Nations proclaimed 12 December as International Universal Health Coverage Day, UHC Day, by Resolution 72 by 138. International Universal Health Coverage Day aims to raise awareness of the needed for strong and resilient health systems and universal health coverage with multi-stakeholders partners. Each year on 12th December, UHC advocates raises their voice to share the stories of the millions of people still waiting for help, champion what we have achieved so far. Call on the leaders to make bigger and smarter investments in health and encourage diverse groups to make commitments to help move the world closer to UHC by 2030. The COVID-19 pandemic has again shown us that the UHC and the health security are intertwined goals to protect everyone, everywhere that we achieve through the same health system in crisis and calm. For health systems to work, they must work for everyone, no matter who they are, where they are, or how much money they have. Equitable health coverage puts women, children, and all sides. And most vulnerable first because they face the most significant barriers to essential care. On 12 December, join us to demand action on universal health coverage and call on leaders to invest in financial protection for health. Our lives and livelihoods and futures depend on it. So the theme for this year, health is on the house, government, investing, universal health coverage, improves quality and social cohesion. It also benefits the national economy by improving health and well-being, increasing workforce participation and productivity, and building resilience in individuals, families, and communities. In adopting the Sustainable Development Agenda in 2015, heads of the state and governments from every country in the world committed to ensuring healthy lives and promoting well-being for everyone. They reiterated these commitments in the political declarations adopted during 2019 and 2023 high-level meetings on universal health coverage. And yet, 4.5 billion still do not have access to essential health services. What's more, over the last 20 years, financial protection has progressively deteriorated, with 2 billion people experiencing financial hardship and 1.3 billion people pushed into poverty due to health spending. This must change. This UHC Day, we are calling on governments to invest in health for all and protect people, particularly the most vulnerable, from impoverishing health spending. UHC means that everyone, everywhere can access the health services they need without risk of financial hardships. It is embedded in the Sustainable Development Goals Target 3.8 and includes the full range of essential health services, spanning health promotion, prevention, and treatment. The three dimensions of UHC are population coverage, who receives services linked to equality, service coverage, what health services are available, and the financial protection, ensuring health services do not lead to financial hardship. UHC is based on the principles of equity, non discrimination, and the right to health, ensuring that the most marginalized populations are reached and covered, and no one is left behind. The goal of universal health coverage, UHC, has become more attainable as the world has become richer, leading to greater access to health services and technologies such as vaccines and antibiotics, and to the most dramatic decline in the poverty ever achieved. To ensure that every person benefits the human rights to health, political leaders have made the right choices in the racial, economic, financial, and social choice of universal health coverage. The World Organization, the World Health Organization, WHO, is one of the many members of UN family engaged in health-related matters, which include, among others, the Joint United Nations Program on HIV/AIDS, UNAIDS, the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, and in support of reproductive adults and maternal health and the health-related activities of the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF. Today is also commemorated as Free Shipping Day. In US, what's not to love about Free Shipping Day held this year on December 14th? You can shop till you drop by getting everything online, plus there is no sky high shipping rates. Pay only for what you actually buy. Let someone else handle the extra. The day of holiday changes each year, so be on lookout in mid-December. Free Shopping Day is a national shopping day as well as a year-round coupon website. The holiday started in 2008 while the coupon portion of the site was launched in 2007 as a resource for online saving, providing shoppers with coupons, free shipping codes from top retail partners and niche retailers. The first event was put together in 2 weeks by Luke and his employee. It featured and 2050 merchants, including Target, JCPenney, Pottery Barn. After a busy and sleepless night on December 17, 2008, Novels kicked off the first ever shopping day by following month. The event earned $764 million in online sales and became one of the top 10 highest earning days in e-commerce during the holiday season that year. So now National Free Shipping Day is now a permanent entry in the holiday shopping lexicon. More and more retailers partner with Free Shipping Day to capture sales from shoppers eager to finish their holiday list in the mid to late December. Today is also commemorated as Halcyon Days in US. Halcyon Days technically fall in December, around the time of winter solstice each year. Their story goes back to ancient Greece of love, gods and goddesses, tragedy on the seas, and the birds with magical powers. Halcyon days are kind of unique days as both. They refer to the period of happiness and calm, especially in the past. Weather-wise, there are a time of calm during the winter when storms do not occur. Halcyon days are still wonderful because they define nostalgia and warmth. Just the premise behind it makes love December even. We are already swimming in the memories of those long summers or that eventful Thanksgiving. So, through different seasons or reasons, Halcyon days remind us the days when we were utterly content. Today is also commemorated as Maternal Intellectuals Day in Bangladesh, which is observed on 14th December. The day honors over 1,000 intellectuals killed by Pakistan forces during the Bangladesh Liberation War in 1930. Just when victory was on the horizon, Pakistan abducted and brutally killed some of the best minds in Bangladesh, formerly East Pakistan. The aim was to annihilate the entire intellectual class of Bangladesh. Madrid Intellectuals Day ensures that the world never forgets the efforts and bravery of these exceptional individuals. Today is also commemorated as Monkey Day in US. We may look just a bit different from our primate pals, but we shouldn't forget that we are share a common ancestor with them, chimpanzees. Warm up the vocal cords and get ready to unleash the wildest calls and cries in observance of this day. It celebrates not just monkeys, but everything simian. A part of the human family tree, monkeys are celebrated on Monkey Day on December 14th. Monkeys first emerged as a unique species within the animal kingdom, but it is believed that their appearance took place approximately 60 million years ago. The vast amount of time would pass month by year by millennia, both creeping and speeding along without the existence of National Monkey Day. At long last, though, thanks to the two pioneering college students that would change in the year 2000, Cassie Soro and Eric Millikin, both studying at Michigan State University, are responsible for the creation of simian-centric celebratory day, Sorrow Fitting. Would admit to the Detroit Metro Times that he experienced a form of malaise around the holiday season and felt compelled to find a way to combat these December blues. After jokingly jotting down Monkey Day in a friend's calendar, Sorrow took the idea and ran with it. When December 14th rolled around, he and his art school friends dressed up as monkeys and ran amok, putting on their best monkey impressions. When they started out with a bit of fun, they evolved into a full-blown operation. Monkey Day serves as an important anniversary each year for raising awareness of modern threats to monkeys, with entities such as National Geographic, the Smithsonian Institution, and the Greenpeace promoting the day. Sorrow and Milliken have been instrumental in utilizing monkey-themed art and vehicles to serve this end as well. Their work has brought an entirely new understanding to the term monkey business. Today is also commemorated as More Good Today Day. This in the US. More Good Today Day is a special day celebrated on December 14th every year in the US, which aims to encourage more people to practice kindness and generosity. It reminds people to take the time to think about the people around them and help in any way they can. This day reminds people to focus on the positive things in the world. This is a perfect opportunity to make difference in someone's life. A small act of kindness can go a long way in making people's lives better. Certain rules of conduct govern correct behavior among members of a particular social. Every culture tends to write its version of the rules of the behavior. These can be laws or traditions. Good manners have been in demand for many years around the world. Codes of dress, behavior, and etiquette usually distinguish social classes in a community. Good manners can be the codes of conduct that help to preserve friendships and other relationships with people. The unspoken rules help to create a sense of peace and security. A person's social skills, good manners, and adequate intelligence allow them to succeed. Adopting etiquette was a self-conscious process during the age of enlightenment and in the 18th century. People made an effort to acquire the convention of politeness. They also adopted normative behaviors that symbolically identified the person as cultured upper class member. Today is also commemorated as National Energy Conservation Day in India. Every year, India observes National Energy Conservation Day on December 14th. This day is organized by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, BE, which operates under the Ministry of Power, aiming to present India's stellar achievements in cost-efficient energy production and resource conservation. Further plans for the future are also discussed on this day, targeting holistic development as the main goal towards mitigation of climate change. Include yourself in more informative ways to spread awareness on the climate change and conserving energy by following their work. National Energy Conservation Day aims to generate awareness among the masses in India about the importance of energy saving. People are also kept in the loop on new courses of action and the plans that are being formulated. Information is giving on minimizing energy waste and how the public can do their part in conserving resources. Essentially, the main objective of the day is to reduce the use of energy and to encourage people to use it efficiently. Formed under the Union Ministry of Power, the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, BE, has been leading the celebrations of National Energy Conservation Day annually on December 14th. Since 1991, a constitutional body that falls under the Government of India, the Bureau of Energy Efficiency assists in the development and implementation of strategies and policies to reduce excessive consumption of energy. The committee also executed the Energy Conservation Act in 2001. As part of its awareness campaign, awards are distributed annually on this day in 56 subsectors of the country to recognize achievements in energy efficiency. The National Energy Conservation Awards program commends the efforts of the industry, institutions, and establishments, ranging from power plants to hotels to shopping malls. Prizes are also awarded by the BE to the winners of the national painting competitions centered to the theme of energy conservation. India's development sectors are flourishing, which leads to an increase in the demand for energy. It is expected that India's resource requirements will double by year 2030. The BE strategies and develops policies that will help decrease this demand by advocating the adoption of efficient measures for energy use. Today is also commemorated as Roasted Chestnuts Day in US. It's time to honor the humble chestnut on Roast Chestnuts Day, as it is the season to jolly roast chestnuts. Day comes at a perfect time for holiday season. Roasted chestnuts often fill the air with their earthy scent as they are cooked by street vendors during December. Not only this, but the delicious snack keeps the cold away for those in Northern Hemisphere. While the day is relatively new celebration, the tradition of roasting chestnuts have been around for a long time. When they are roasted, the natural sweetness of the nut is revealed, delighting our taste buds. Chestnuts hail from a tree indigenous to the Americas and Asias. There is a multitude of species that mankind has been harvesting for centuries. The Native Americans have been consuming them long before the first European settlers arrived. The Europeans in turn were introduced to chestnut from Sardis. Sardis was an ancient capital, which is now part of eastern Turkey, which was also an important day for the Persian Empire, important city for the of the Persian Empire until it fell to Alexander the Great in 334 BC. The United States produces only 1% of the world's chestnut polish production. China is the world's leader, even through Americans. Chestnuts are imported from Italy. American chestnuts were decimated by a deadly blight which ravaged the trees during the early 1900s. Approximately 4 billion chestnut trees succumbed, and their recovery has been medical. Chestnuts have a soily, mildly taste. Although they can be eaten hot off the coals, they are better eaten with herbs in stuffing or other dishes. Soon after roasting, the nuts can become so hard they can break a tooth if bitten down on too forcefully. However, it is still possible to chop them. Some larger grocery stores and most Italian markets have the chestnuts in their shelves, and others sell unshelled chestnuts in a can, which are much softer. Roasting them became a popular treat as heard in one of the Nat King's old songs, in which he warmly cooled chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Today is also commemorated as Christmas Bird Count Week from 14th January, 14 December till 5th January in US. The Christmas Bird Count Week is from December 14th to January 5th. This week-long celebration is an international census of birds undertaken by bird watchers in the Western Hemisphere. North America, the US, and Canada participate actively in the count. With the most contributions coming from these countries, nevertheless, bird watchers from over 17 countries participate in the Christmas bird count. The number of observers increases every year. The count is conducted by the National Audubon Society, an environmental organization devoted to the conservation of birds. The Christmas Bird Count Week is celebrated from December 14 to January 5. This celebration is a citizen science survey where volunteer bird watchers in the Northern Hemisphere went to perform a census of the birds in the Western Hemisphere. It evolved out of an old hunting tradition in North America. Many North Americans were involved in side hunts over the Christmas period, where they would actively hunt as many birds as they could. This hunting was competitive, which meant that many birds were hunted and killed in the name of Christmas hunts, and a lot of cruelty, abuse, and sins that were committed as part of Christmas hunts. Birds of all kinds got killed needlessly during this hunt as the hunters boosted their numbers in the name of Christmas hunts, which has created havoc in the birds' life and population. Frank Chapman, an ornithologist and founder of BirdLore, suggested a change in the tradition. He recommended that instead of hunting birds down and killing them, the Christmas tradition could involve counting them. The first group of observers was very few. About 27 people counted birds that winter. However, they identified about 18,500 individual birds across 90 different species. The success of first observers led to the group of bird watchers increasing every passing year. All the data collected through the Christmas Bird Count Week is used for sciences, especially conservation biology. Participation is open to all volunteers, so people do not have to be specifically skilled to count birds during the Christmas Bird Count Week. Every person is assigned a count circle of about 15 miles in diameter, and everyone works in teams of 10 counts the birds in the circle. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us. So see you all tomorrow at the same time with the same joining link. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of votes. See you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.